various things to do. In no particular order, I've got to rerun all the lighting circuit for downstairs, so it runs not over the top of stuff, but through stuff and alongside stuff. I have got to start thinking about putting the purlins in and the uprights, the ashlar wall. I have got to think about putting the insulation down in between the flooring rafters and then putting the floor on top of that. So after a night's sleep and much consideration, decided probably the most important thing right now is to get the insulation down, because it's roasting up here in the attic, freezing cold downstairs because all the heat's going whooshing up into here, and it's costing us a small fortune just to keep the place sensible. So, but to do that, I need to organise the wiring, because the wiring's going over the top of the moment and everything's going to go underneath. So, what I've done is I've started at that end, the extension end, run the wiring properly through the joists rather than over the top of the joists, as per the regs. Nice small holes, bang in the centre, not too near the ends. Then I'll be able to lay some insulation down, and that'll be below floor level, leaving the tops of the joists still open to be able to put the purlins in and the rest of the ashlar wall, but keeping a bit of heat. Also, there is the great big hole. This bloody great hole, which if I don't fill it over, all the insulation will just fall down. It also sits right above that double radiator, which is pumping shitloads of heat straight up the stairs. So that's the first job today. I've done a little bit of the insulation, but I've got to fill in that bloody red hole. Right, with some free plasterboard we got when we picked up some other stuff on Gumtree that people were clearing out, we have the whole cupboard. So that radiator is not blasting straight up the stairs anymore. It might have to sift through downstairs for a little while before it goes up. Another job done. Right, finally seem to be getting somewhere, don't we? I'm just taking all the old insulation, which I saved, and we took it all up again, and it's all going back down, except this time it's the insulation from the floor and the insulation that was in the loft going down. So there'll be twice the depth of insulation on the floor. I'm not sure it'll be desperately needed when it's all the ceiling insulation's in, but it's always good for sound deadening. So it's going in. And a new morning and a new job. I've got all the insulation down, and that seems to be making a big difference to my heating, as my smart meter tells me I'm not racking up £2 a day in gas. So the next job to do is to start getting the purlins in. Now, when we first put the purlins in, we started at this point because that was the only solid point we had. That was top of the new engineered stud wall, if you remember that far back. So with a little help from my mate Chris, that was our only starting point. We sort of temporarily nailed things in there, assumed that was kind of to that corner, and then put that one in over here. Now, that was all very good until the guys came to do the extension, and they said, well, your roof sags. And I said, yes, the roof does sag, half due to the age of the building, but more to do with the last chap's version of an attic conversion, which basically hung everything off of the roof rafters. So that's left us with a slight issue. So I've got out my handy laser level, and we need to pick a datum point. So let's switch it on and look for lasers around the corner. And this corner seems to be the sensible place to be, which is the only place where everything comes together at the same height. That's my new datum point. And if we follow the red line around, you will notice that we have slight issues. Like, it's a little bit low here by 10 mil, a little bit more, and over there even further. So this, our first upright, is a little bit short. So at least I've got a point to start with. First thing I'm going to have to do is make myself a little template for this, what they call in the trade a bird's mouth, so I can start getting some uprights put in place to gently lever this up into the right position, and then I shall do it on the other side, and so on and so on. Not being a master craftsman, I have had to use different techniques to work out how to do this. First, I went to use some CAD, or cardboard aided design, to get my first bit, and then took that onto this, which is a bit of ply, which now does the job. And that ply template is going to be what I'm going to use to cut out my big lumps of wood. Bit of joy, proof of concept, got my first one in, sitting right here. That is the right height, that is upright that way, upright that way, and the right height, having brought this back into space. I'm going to start doing another one over there, and then the big one, and we'll carry on. And in order to keep my cuts nice and square, I've got the toy. Yoo-hoo! Unfortunately, daughter's chicken pox stopped play for a wee while. Poor wee thing. Not well. But I have got some work done. And now we're working at front corner of the house. Yeah, nice and level with its solid block there. A solid block underneath the window. The Velux window at the front. Moving across to the corner post there. And now we're all level. I used a couple of the what will be the R-star wall to gently tease everything up and back. So all the way to the hole for the stairwell is now up and level. Daughter's chicken pox stopped play for a week because I was a ill baby at home, not at school. But back to school today, so back on. As far as I got last before I stopped was to sort of shuffle this new beam here into place. Yay! Luckily, nice new square 6x2s. Nice and even, gave me a chance to find my space nice and easily. Problem, of course, is it comes against two old ones, 4x2s. So, my cunning plan was to put a little bit of 2x2 batten in along here, which is what I've done. This one was pretty good, this rafter was in place and the piece slid in quite easily. This one, a bit of a dump, but I managed to, with a bit of wood at an angle and a little wedge, I managed to get it up far enough to get my bit of 2x2 in behind. So now, a little bit of measuring and jiggling to make sure that's all square, and square that way, level that way, all the same distance from the outside wall. and then that will be all screwed into position, and I shall move on to the next job, which is over there. But for now, back to this. Another day over, and work has progressed. Not finished yet, but a lot of tweaking had to be done. The purlin from the access hole, the stairway hole, across to the extension end is in and secure and level. That will just have to be chopped off at that end, and life is good. Also, the purlin at the other end is in and level and in place, and the roof being jacked up just enough to get it level there. And at this point here is where we will cut and put the other purlin to that corner, just holding up the existing rafters. I don't have to do a height difference. And now we come to the trickiest bit. I've been leaving this bit till last. It's the last thing to do before we get the building control man back in to have a look. But it is the nasty bit, and I'll show you why. Unlike that nice bit, which was nice and level, it's more like that bit, which was kind of bowed. Yeah, but this bit is incredibly bowed. I don't know if we can actually see how bad it is. But it's not good. Yeah, lots of bow. Hopefully I can jack it all up and get it all level and neatly join it to this piece, because obviously there's the issue of 6x2, now a 6x2, now a 6x2, which had to be taken out to that, because that is the wall of that room, so I couldn't make the join there. I can make the join here, so this will be hidden in what will be the little cloakroom, hopefully. And all this bit can be on the old 4x2, but it's a bit of a bugger, and I've got to do it with that bloody great lump of 6x3 there and make it work. So better get on then, hadn't I? And there it is, the new joist, the last, sorry, purlin in. That was a devil. But it is in, it's holding stuff up, it's been neatly jointed at this point, so both parts are supported from underneath. There will be a little bit of screwed and glued plywood going over the top of that just to secure it, and that's it for now, because Monday lunchtime the building control chap from the council is coming to have a look to see what we've got. I wanted him to come because the next sort of thing I want to do is get insulation down at the bottom end, so I can finish under or behind what will be the wall, and then I can put more uprights in, because I don't want to be squeezing lumps of, you know, insulation through tiny little gaps where I don't fit. It's a pain in the arse. I'd rather have lots of space to work in, and then I can put flooring down in behind it with the old floor ripped up from here, because that doesn't have to be fancy Dan, it just has to be crawl space. And that's it. So no more to report. I will give you an update in the next video after the building inspector has been, and hopefully his list of demands doesn't get too long. Especially when I explained to him that actually since you last came, we built an extension. Never mind. It's Friday night. I've had enough. I've got enough done to keep me going. Till next time. Bye.